Makes me angry.
I would love healing with Mary. I would love healing with Janelle. I would love healing with Christine.
I don't want to talk to Kody ever again.
How much longer until you just realize that
he wants to see me? I really want to tell him that we'll never be friends.
I wanted to apologize with all my heart. I said I didn't love you. That wasn't true.
Hey besties, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. Do you remember how for like a very long time I have said for, I don't even know, years, that even though Kody claimed that he didn't love his ex-wives, and even though he claimed that like Robyn was the love of his life, that Kody would actually never be satisfied with one woman, and that whoever the new wife is tends to be like his favorite for that period of time, and that even if given the opportunity, he had a chance to add another person to the family, he would then replace Robyn. And that while he was through those tell-alls saying that he never loved Janelle or Christine or Mary, he was in a way almost doing that to try to justify the fact that they left him. You know, like he needs to say, I never loved them, to explain why all these other relationships blew up. His failure. He had to protect his ego. Well, I just didn't love them. That's why. Okay. Yeah. So this season is going to be this like redemption tour where he's going to try to woo the other women and kind of apologize to them and let them know how he's feeling. And Christine shared on her Instagram, here we go, gulp. And she shared the full clip of the new season on her Instagram. She's the only one of the cast to do this. So Mary hasn't posted anything about the new season. Janelle hasn't posted anything about their new season, but Christine did. Now, Christine apparently has a storyline, but the bulk of the trailer was about Kody, and we really didn't see much of Christine, beyond her talking about David doing something with Kody, and then they go in a car and they go driving together, and then her saying that she doesn't want to meet with Kody, and then Kody and her sitting at a table, and he says, I want to apologize to the bottom of my heart, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so Christine's not, she does have a storyline. Apparently she's going to have some jealousy and frustration when it comes to her kids moving to North Carolina, and it brings up all these issues because they're moving closer to Janelle, and then she feels kind of rejected. And I didn't see as much filming with Janelle and Christine as in previous years or in previous seasons since they're split. So it kind of gives me the sense that they might very well remain like close. They're not as close as they once were, and their lives have completely moved in separate directions. And if she's jealous of her kids moving towards Janelle, is that going to erode her relationship with Janelle? You know what I mean? I don't know. Regardless, when Kody propositions Robyn about adding new women to the family, there was this picture right behind his head, and it's this photograph of Kody and Robyn kissing by his old Lexus. Okay. Now, apparently that painting was super, super, super expensive, and that could have been done after all of the women left as sort of this, he professing his undying love to Robyn, a token of his affection for her, and how happy he was that she said yes. And the artist who was commissioned to create this photograph shared on her website the following. I'm so happy to finally introduce this massive painting, 36 by 72 by 0.25. 36 is 3 feet tall. 72 is 6 feet long. It was commissioned by the lucky gentleman on the car for his wife. The reference photo was taken the day she said yes to his proposal. This legacy painting is filled with so much love. The gold leaf framing the scene tells, in their own words, their love story. The music that played in the background while I created was the music of their courtship. My studio was filled with their love of beauty, and the divine love that accompanied any creative endeavor. It was challenging to bring into being, and I found out how innovative I needed to be to do it. I also discovered how much in love I am with working large scale and look forward to creating more legacy pieces. To the reveal, both my client and his wife saw the piece for the first time together on their anniversary. he brought her over with the pretense of picking a painting for their anniversary after a nerve-wracking little art show. I said, "There's one more piece in here I think you may like," and led them to the studio door where I left them alone to take it in. I felt the ancestors and sacredness of this project multiple times during this painting process. I knew they would feel it too. To be trusted to create something on this scale with total artistic license was a dream come true. That is a huge painting. And what is almost oh gosh, what is so insulting about that painting is that he had 3 wives at home, and he had a wife that was pregnant at the time that she said yes to his proposal. There's 0 mention in there that this was created for a man that had other women. And yeah, their love story. It's kind of a slap in the face if you think about what the family went through, but it's sort of this gaudy reminder of who Robyn and Kody are, that they would commission such a piece like this. Now, I looked at her pricing, and it's not cheap. And I took a light look at how much she charges. She has some portraits on here that she's charging anywhere from $7.50 to $8.33 per inch, per square inch. If you were to say take the high of that, knowing that this is the most expensive she's ever made, the minimum at $8.33 a square inch this would cost would be $21,000. But add in that it has a gold leaf frame, so it's going to be even more expensive. That painting likely cost Kody more than $25,000, if not more. While he's fighting with all these women about he wants his money, he wants Coyote Pass. Apparently, when they sold that land, he took that money and maybe the sale of his home proceeds to commission a piece of art that represents all the trauma he caused in the lives of so many people. And he spent upwards of $25,000 on that piece of art. And it's ugly. That's my opinion. But it's only ugly because I know the backstory, not because the artist did a bad job. It's ugly because of the backstory. And then what's even more obnoxious about this is he is sitting in front of this massively expensive piece of artwork on his wall, which, by the way, he paid this artist this much money to make this piece, but this is a limited edition for him and him alone. It will have no value to anyone else. No one's going to want to pick this piece up because it belonged to Kody and Robyn. So he threw 25, maybe more, into that artwork, right? And while he's sitting in front of this commissioned piece, which this artist described as legacy filled with so much love, and the clients seeing it for the first time, and the sacredness and the ancestors that she felt while she created this, he's telling Robyn that another woman wants to join the family. Just going to let you soak that in for a second. People noticed in the way that it was edited, and we obviously don't know if it was edited in a way that is true or not, but that Robyn didn't look very happy about the idea of them adding women to their family. And I will stand my 10 toes on this, that even though Robyn claims that she's all about polygamy, I don't believe that she actually wants to in practice do it. You can have a faith that you have to do this because you've been brainwashed by a cult that's told you that you have to do this in order to go to heaven. But to live that way and to ask anyone to live that way, and I'm not defending Robyn, but I wouldn't blame or begrudge any woman who didn't want to share their husband. If they don't want to share and they can't be a good, I don't know, collaborator with their other sister wife, and they don't want to share and they want to hoard all the money and buy dolls and have their husband commission them like a $25,000 painting, maybe she shouldn't have to be dealing with that, right? And I wouldn't begrudge her if she didn't want to add another wife. But here's what's going to happen. If Robyn says no to Kody not bringing in another wife, then everything that she has said about polygamy and her belief in it and wanting to do it and feeling like she has to do it and that this was a divine family and that she was sealed to Kody on the premise that he had all these other wives, she will have lied the entire time she was on the show if she gives it up now. She's going to look like a hypocrite because she was last season saying, are we going to try? Are we going to try to get in more wives? And Cody's like, I don't know. And now this season, he's like online talking to women, entertaining them, trying to figure out if women want to join the family. And then she's looking like crusty and angry and annoyed. Robyn is going to be hit with the very stark reality that if Kody were to add another woman, she would no longer be the focus of his attention. And she would finally get a wake-up call into what everyone else went through. Robyn has not had to deal with Kody the same way the other women did. She never had to deal with them when they were poor, only very briefly because they got the show immediately when they started courting. She's never had to deal with them struggling financially or not having food or not being able to stay, from in one place for very long due to fears of being arrested. I mean, they lived in the house that they just sold last year for 5 years. She just doesn't have the financial insecurity. She also has been able to live out publicly the entire time. And she was the legal wife. She became the legal wife. And as the legal wife, she didn't have to deal with the shame because she was the legal wife. So for the last 10 years, she's been his legal wife. And that's been her life. And so now, if Kody were to add someone else, you'd have to ask yourself why. If Kody doesn't believe in the faith and he has said he doesn't believe in the faith, is he lying when he says that he doesn't believe in the faith? Does Kody really not believe in the practice of polygamy and Joseph Smith and the Mormon doctrine? Does he not believe in the teachings of Brigham Young and all of the people that came before that practiced polygamy? Or is he doing it because he just wants someone else? The premise and the reason why the wives are supposed to be okay with this sharing is the promise of eternity and being exalted in heaven. So if you remove what their foundation is of faith, how then would you live polygamy if you only did it because you thought you were going to go to heaven and you wanted to show to the world that you were like the best, most amazing polygamist out there? He will have a harder time